All right, we've been on an interesting journey over the last few videos in this series, looking at the anatomy of a surfactant company line by line on that generic P&L. What I'm going to do here is, by way of a coda, if you like, going to look at how each of those lines fit together in a system, because that's how you really succeed in this surfactant business. Remember this? The scorecard. We first went right to the top, to the revenue line, and that is not just the result of sales reps making calls. It's ultimately the result of a marketing decision. What markets you're playing in, what segments you're serving. If you get that wrong right up front, before you even sell a drum, no amount of financial or chemical engineering down below is going to help you. Then we moved on to that big cost bucket, raw materials, going to be about 3/4 of your costs. And we talked about stoichiometry. A mole of LAB plus a mole of SO3 is going to give you what it gives you. You can't cheat the laws of physics. What you can do is work to narrow that gap between actual yield, real life yield, and the theoretical yield. And you do that by minimizing things like product changeovers and product returns. Purchasing also, of course, plays a critical role in buying from a competitive market, creating that competition if you can, and being a good customer. Pay your bills on time, make as accurate a forecast as you can. Doing that consistently will, in the long run, enable you to take advantage of better pricing. Then we went into the plant. I can't stress this enough. The differentiator here is utilization. If your plant utilization is below, let's say, 70%, you are not going to be very happy, and neither are your shareholders. The goal is to get it over 90% utilization, and you do this by reducing product line complexity, minimizing startups and shutdowns, minimizing returns, minimizing switchovers. Complexity can be a killer, especially in commodity surfactants. So screw up the courage to tell your customer, sorry mate, I cannot make a customized 2 drums for you this time. And finally, we looked at SG&A, selling, general, and administrative. My favorite chart right here. This is the one I want you to print out and stick on your wall. In fact, I want to see photographs in the comments here with this graph on office walls. There's a law of gravity in surfactants, right? Products that start as high margin specialties a number of years ago eventually mature into commodities. That's life in chemicals. The problem, the killer, is when your product becomes a commodity, the margins drop, but you keep spending on it like it's still a specialty. You're still flying guys around the world. You're still doing high-end formulation work for a product that's being bought on price alone. This is the not good place. You got to review your portfolio every year. Be ruthless. If the margin is compressed, the support costs have to come down. Don't offer an all-you-can-eat buffet of tech service to a customer buying a low-margin workhorse surfactant. If you want a real-life example of this, look up the recent remarks by Sasol's head of chemicals about LAB. All right, so what's the bottom line here? Succeeding in surfactants is not about a single kind of magic thing that you do. It's about a system, and that involves marketing, picking the right segments, operations, keeping the plant humming, purchasing, being smart, and management, having the courage to align costs with reality. You've got the levers. Figure out how to pull them. I hope you found this interesting and maybe even helpful. And as always, thanks again for listening.